I will be your host of today, Y311H, and it's a pleasure to be with you. All glory and honor belong to God Almighty. Child of God, like the title says of this video, you might come across creepy things here, from trees walking to maybe fish talking, among other interesting stuff. But as you are carried away by the videos, please remember that we are on a mission to unite the whole world. Make sure we all live in peace, honest, forgiving with one another, and everyone loves their neighbor the way they love themselves. And with the help, child of God, of hitting the like button, we can spread this message to the whole world together. Here, we believe that sharing is caring, and caring, my friend, is showing love. And for that love, I will share with you some food I have here for your soul, something that will give you strength, my friend, as you dive in to sing the mysterious stuff we have today. Make sure you don't miss out. This is what it says. If we are out of our mind, it is for the sake of God. If we are in our right mind, it is for you. For Christ's love compels us, because we are convinced that one died for all, and therefore all died. And he died for all, that those who live should no longer live for themselves, but for him who died for them and was raised again. 2 Corinthians 5:25-13 going down. Interesting stuff, my friend. That's just a wonderful love the book is talking about. Let's give thanks to this wonderful, mighty creator before we begin our show of today, my friend, so that we might have their guidance and protection. For good vibes' sake. Dear Lord Father, full of mercies, love, kindness, Father, thank you for this beautiful day. We glorify and uplift your name, Father. Today, we come together with your child here, today's viewer, before you, Father, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Thank you for this day, Father. Thank you for the videos that we have, which we will be going to react to with your child here, Father. Guide us all through. Thank you for the blessings in store for them, Father, and the good things that you shall do in their minds, Father. Be with them, Father, from wherever they are watching from. Before we reach the end, Father, may you have transformed their lives, dear Lord. Be merciful to this viewer and forgive them all their sins. We ask that you might cover us till the end, Father, all for the glory of your name. In your holy name, Jesus Christ, we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Let's dive in, child of God. Good vibes. Ha! Look at. Oh. What? Not really. Look at this.
Warning, if you feel like you're being watched by the trees here in Woodlands National Park, you are. There are dangerous creatures here in these woods that...
If you're the type of person that's into analog horror, then this is probably something that you've been seeing lately. This slideshow starts off with an image of a creature that looks very similar to a tree, and then it pretending to be a tree, and a creepy shot into the dark if you turn your brightness up of all these trees right here that look pretty similar. They also use an audio from a video that's been blowing up lately of the Woodlands National Park analog horror. This series, which is available on YouTube, is actually very interesting, and it documents the experience of the Woodland National Park rangers as they talk about how the trees are actually creatures that are alive, watching you, and want to kill you. The series is made very well, so just for some clarification, of course trees really can't walk around and prey on humans, and the closest thing that we have to a walking tree is the walking palm tree, which takes a very long time to move. With that being said, this is not a sponsored post at all. I just like this analog horror, and I'm glad that it's getting recognition from a bunch of different creators.
I'm sorry, but is this tree fucking serious? That's actually the color of this tree. Are we... what?
Wow, good vibes. It's like these trees are up to something. In the last episode, there is a tree we saw walking, and I said that the tree, my friend, looked like it was tired. You see? But now I hadn't even come across these videos we are seeing today. Seeing that tree in the first video there, what looked like a giant that was hiding under cover as a tree from how it was walking, it looks similar to that tree we saw in that episode. You be the judge, my friends. You see, with all this technology stuff you are seeing, English people can use computer to even make videos like those. You be the judge. Tell us what you think. Do you think these trees can really work, or people have started forming new memes? You see these things sometimes I can't believe. Let's keep on watching. Good vibes, please.
Here's a witch tip that my grandmother and auntie taught me. If someone's bugging you or getting under your skin, write their name on a piece of paper, put that piece of paper in your shoe, and walk on them. Walk on them. That's it. It's kind of like energetically elevating yourself above their energy, putting them below you. Try it out. Let me know if it works.
This is a warning. If you have done the freezer spell on someone, you might have done black magic. Let me tell you why. Firstly, let me show you how you do the freezer spell. You need a piece of paper and a pen because we're about to freeze someone out. So make sure when you write the person's name and you set the intention that you want to make it that it's positive, then get a little vial, pop it in the top. Now add water. Once you fill it with water, chuck it in the freezer. So how is it black magic? Because it's your intention. If you write on that piece of paper something negative, like you want to freeze them out because they're terrible people and all these horrible things, you are going to get that back by 3. So you have to be really careful.
Here's my story on why I do not play with witchcraft. So when I was about 22, 23 years old, my then best friend at the time, grandmother, used to do work. She wasn't your average grandma, you know, with the moo-moo. No, she was turned. She smoked weed. She drank. She hung out. She could dress. She was that type of grandma. But she did work. She would do things like she would put your name in the freezer when she wanted you to stop doing something. She didn't put it in a bag of water like I be hearing other people say. No, she put your name straight in the freezer, and whatever she focused on that she wanted you to stop doing, you would stop doing. She would also do things like the jar, but she didn't do like honey jars. She would do a simple jar, and she have you write their name down, and you put their name in a jar of water and hide it in the house, and the person would not go nowhere. She did stuff like that. And the crazy thing about it, we saw it work. Me and her granddaughter, my best friend at the time, we saw it work. Whatever she said, it worked. So around that time, you know, we young, we had little boyfriends that was cutting up or whatever. So we called ourselves wanting to get our boyfriends in line. So she told us this simple one, to write their name down. If we don't hear from them and we want to hear from them, write their name down, put it under the pillow, and sleep on it. And you would hear from them. And I promise you, I used to do it. And at the time, I wouldn't hear from my baby daddy for weeks. I would put his name, write his whole name down, sleep on it. The next morning before 9 a.m., he would call me. So all her stuff worked. But this is where it went wrong. It was this one spell that she had me do because at the time, my twin's father was cutting up real bad. I was in love with him, and I wanted him to stay home and stop cheating on me. She told me to write his name down and put it in a jar and put it in some water and hide it in the house, and he wouldn't go nowhere. I'm like, how this gonna work? Because not only was my baby daddy unfaithful, just wilding, he young, we didn't even live together. But I was in love, and my baby daddy was cheating, and I wanted him to be with me. So I did what she told me to do. I wrote his name down, his whole name, put it in a jar of water, hid it in the house. Y'all, like a month and a half later, guess what happened? He gets arrested. They lock him up. He don't get no bond. It's a serious charge. And when they finally give him a bond, they let him go under the conditions of him being on house arrest. Y'all, the spell said he would never leave the house. The man was on house arrest and he got released to my house, my address. So y'all, once he gets released to my address, we have the best relationship ever. We getting along, we in love. He's never been this nice to me. I'm so freaking happy. Till one day, y'all, I'm out shopping with my sister and he at the house. Remember, he on house arrest. I get back from shopping with my sister, y'all. Why the jar sitting on my coffee table? And he just sitting there. Y'all, he found the jar. He said real calm, yo, what my name doing in that jar? I was like, I ain't know what to say. I was like, I don't know. He was like, hey, yo, get my name out that jar. I was like, throw it away. He said, I'm not touching that jar. Get my name out that jar. Instantly, the spell broke. Instantly. My world got turned upside down. Do y'all hear me? As soon as the spell broke, somehow the conditions of his bond got to the point where he could leave and go certain places, and then he eventually got off house arrest. He left my house. He started back cheating double time to the part where he just moved and just wasn't, like, it was almost like he hated me. Y'all, that spell backfired so bad. I remember one night I went looking for him, and I hate to admit this, but I went looking for this man. And I remember I didn't have on no shoes, and it was in the middle of November. I went looking for him with no shoes on in the middle of November. I don't even know why I didn't have on no shoes. Y'all better stop playing with people's free will. To this day, me and that man don't get along. Like, it's a whole bunch of stuff that happened after that. I could talk for hours. But to this day, me and that man do not get along. Stop playing with people's free will. If they want to be with you, they're going to be with you. Because when it comes back times 3. When I tell y'all I lost everything, I lost financially, I lost mentally. I started smoking weed around that time. I wasn't even a weed smoker. I lost. And I'm still not with a nigga. Stop playing around with that stuff. You cannot force nobody to be with you.
I just came across this video of this man trying to get another person to bump elbows with him so he can tell him their future, right? In New Orleans. So we're gonna talk about it. If you look at it, it says you meet a random man on Bourbon Street saying he can tell you your future if you just tap his elbow, but Shadow Man taught you better than that. You know, like the shake my hand. Come on, boys, won't you shake a pulse in his hand? Yes, that, right? If you look at his face, he is so hell-bent on getting him to tap, and he's literally begging in the video. Now, I believe someone said something about this in the comments, something similar to this, but this person was quite literally trying to swap out the destinies of their life with that person. Now, I could be wrong, but in voodoo, the right elbow is basically connected. Like if your right elbow is itching, it's telling you to stay on the right path, like reminding you to stay on the right path. Your right elbow, which is the one he was trying to bump with him. Well, this is flipped, obviously, but yeah, this is my right. In the video, it looks like this. Your right elbow is connected to your destiny or the path of like you being on the right path. You wanting to bump those is basically clashing those together and intertwining them or scrambling them with each other and transferring it. All the good that's going on in this person's life was going to go to this person. And all the bad stuff, as you can see, it's a lot going on, was going to transfer to this person. That's crazy.
When a jinn falls in love with you, they'll bring you a ring and they'll isolate you from everyone. But if a mer person falls in love with you like a mermaid, then they'll usually give you an anklet or they'll bless it and they'll bring lovers to you. Since they can't bring you to the water, which you shouldn't go, they'll bring in a very emotional person to you and use that.
Where, my friends, now today I've heard things that these ones I've never heard about before. Witchcraft, from this side of the world, wonderful athletes. Issues of witchcraft, they might be here and there, but not like in this case. Myself, I'm extremely surprised. You mean people could do this to other athletes? Good vibe sauce. Hey, this is new stuff. Let's keep on watching. Let's keep on being surprised and learning more. All this is for entertainment purposes.
I'm 35 years old and in $169,292.74 of debt, and I still live at home with my parents. And you might as well bump that up to $266,722.97 in debt if you add in how much I will pay in interest. I started aggressively looking at my debt in January and truly didn't know the full financial picture until I got it all down on paper. Debts include 2 private student loans, 10 federal student loans, 1 auto loan, 1 private loan, and 13 credit cards. I've already taken some drastic measures to reduce spending and start side hustling. I started posting my debt payoff journey here on TikTok in hopes of growing and getting into the creator fund. So if you made it this far, thanks so much for watching and following. I'm selling my debt tracking template, I'm door dashing, donating plasma, selling items around the house, and doing TikTok shop to try and make a dent. I made some really good progress so far thanks to an annual bonus I got from my 9-to-5 job, but I've got a long way to go. I've been able to negotiate most of my interest rates on my credit cards down with the help of a debt management plan, but the interest on my student loans is wild. My 2 private student loans have interest rates of 12.75% and 8.9%, while my federal loans range from 5.8 to 6.6%. The private student loans are from my undergraduate degree, which I earned over 15 years ago. I would probably puke if I knew how much I had already paid. And to this day, I think about all the frivolous things I bought and did when I was in my teens and 20s with this money, and wow, if I would have known I would be paying for tank tops and fun nights out at bars 1,000 times over the next 15 years, I might have made some different choices. Even though I've already paid off about $31,000 of debt so far this year, I'm still not looking at being debt-free until 2040. I honestly cannot imagine another 15 years of paying on this debt, especially with so many other life milestones I want to achieve, like buying a house and having kids. I also just got engaged, and it truly makes me sick thinking about how I am bringing more than $150,000 of debt into our marriage starting out. This is not a video to complain by any means because these were my own choices and I'm working to pay back what I owe, but I hope sharing this can resonate with others, and if you want to follow along on the journey and like and follow and share and all that fun stuff, that would be great.
Last night I had to log into my student loan account to print out the paperwork to have my taxes done today. So I got to get a glimpse of my student loan balance for the first time in, I don't know, presumably a year. I honestly don't remember knowing what I owed still. Now, for a point of reference, I graduated in 2011. Okay, so I've been making student loan payments for almost 14 years. I actually did the math. It was about 165 monthly student loan payments that I've made so far. Okay, now I went to pharmacy school. I'm a pharmacist. That's a doctorate degree. It took 6 years. I went to a private school, not because I wanted to, but at the time, there were only 6 schools in the state of Pennsylvania with a pharmacy program. 2 of them were state schools, 4 of them were private. Chose the school I chose because they gave me a $12,000 a year academic scholarship for the first 4 years. So I got $48,000 worth of academic scholarship. So that's why I chose that school. So my education, even with the scholarship, cost still like $250,000, roughly. Now, I'm fortunate my parents paid for a really good chunk of that, over $100,000. I don't remember the exact numbers, honestly, of how it all washed out. But I do know when I got my first student loan bill in the mail, well, I almost shit a brick, but my balance was like right around $125,000. Okay, 165 monthly payments on $125,000. How much do you think I still owe? $78,000. Yeah, I don't know. The math isn't mathing. Now, full disclosure, I did refinance at some point, which is a horrible idea. Like at the time, it seems like a good idea because the monthly payments are so like overwhelming, but in the long run, you're screwing yourself when you refinance a student loan. You just you just are. So 165 monthly payments. I never deferred it. I never missed a payment. And I still owe $78,000. And I've been out of school for 14 years. My oldest turns 10 next week. So realistically, if she decides to go to college, I'm going to be still paying my student loans and likely still owe like $30-some thousand on my student loans when I'm trying to figure out how to pay for her college. And I don't know what the solution is to this whole situation. I don't think loan forgiveness is fair. I don't think taxpayers who didn't go to college should have to have their tax money pay off the student loans for those who did choose to go to college. I don't think that's fair at all. But I do think something needs to be done because universities are charging like obscene tuition. Student loan companies are doing predatory lending to children. and setting up people for like a lifetime of debt. Like, you're starting out your adult life with like crippling debt. And I don't know what the solution is here, but something isn't working.
Y'all, they about to garnish our wages. They really know how to just ruin your day. The U.S. government hates everybody here. Y'all, as of May 5th, they're taking 15% of your wages towards student loans. Y'all, I've been ignoring student loans since I've been in school. If y'all know how much I owe in student loan, y'all would think I went to school to be a lawyer. And it's a degree that wasn't even providing me a decent lifestyle. I was just living off vibes. So you mean to tell me I went to school and y'all lied to me? Y'all wanted me to go out there and do triple the work to get a degree. Y'all, I owe so much money. I'm in Texas, so we don't have state tax. 15%. Hell, you might as well go ahead and add 5 more. Add 10. Cause that's the state tax. I cannot believe this. I just had to pull over, y'all. My head started throbbing. I'm about to get a headache. They're doing this in a couple of weeks, y'all. I gotta go do deferment. I gotta go do something. Y'all, we can't get away from this. People are even already saying that their credit score has dropped from a 700 something to a 500 something. Oh my gosh, my credit score. 15%, whether you have it or not, as of May 5th. So long as you have money in your bank account, they are taking it. Matter of fact, financial aid just called me the other day and I hung up on them. Not in the mood, don't have it. I'm living off life. I'm vibing. This man really said, you know what? Let's make the rich richer. Let's make the others poor.
I'm going to keep posting about this all day because this is bullshit. I went and logged into my federal loan account and this is what I found. I graduated in 2011 with $46,000 in student loan debt. My loan debt is now almost $90,000 fucking dollars. In that time, I've been a social worker that has made income-based repayments on my loan for years, and that shit has almost doubled. You want to know why people are pissed off about their student loans? It's not because we can't get anyone else to pay them for us. It is because you have set it up where we can never pay them off ourselves. And then you sit here and tell us into our faces that we are lazy, this is somehow our fault, while cheering on banks and auto industries and Elon fucking Musk getting subsidies of millions of dollars a day. Anyone who still doesn't see that this is rigged against us can get fucked.
Hey, where? Good web source. This is a bit scary. You mean people are being paid for school by the government only for it to backfire massively to them? This is crazy. All these loans that people are given when running, surprisingly, that they will pay them when they are more than what you took. How is that possible? Are they not helping students? This is quite surprising. You see, from this side of the world, for you to get those types of loans, you will go through a process, good web source, that is unthinkable. Almost visiting the chief, the religious leader, the parents must also go with you. And now, you can't imagine telling them that you will pay 3 times of what you got. You see, this is unbelievable. Anyway, good web source. All this is quite surprising. How much do you think you owe the government in terms of the students' loan? Have you ever taken some? What's your thoughts on it? Let's keep on watching.
It said that the women who have this beauty mark come from a line of witches.
Yes, but let's talk about why. That is a mark of being spiritually controlled. It is showing that the divine feminine has been forced and controlled to do things they weren't aligned to. And we all know what happened to witches.
Okay, so I was just made aware of this 1990s freckle occurrence, I guess. So apparently, people born before the year 2000 have a freckle on their left arm. Apparently not all people, but there's a significant amount of people born before 2000 with a freckle on their left arm. Let's check it out. This is my left arm, and this is my freckle. So of course I went down a rabbit hole. And all I was able to find is that they are attributing this to sun exposure in the 90s. So they are saying because there was a lack of sunscreen usage and the UV rays from the sun created a random freckle on our left arms. That sounds crazy. Do you have this freckle? Let me know. I need to know something.
So apparently, If you were born in the 90s or earlier, I was born in 87, you have this specific freckle on your left arm. Has to be your left arm, apparently. Can't be your right, has to be your left arm. And I have this freckle. And every time I see this post, everybody else has this freckle too. Is this seriously a thing? Like, is this true? Because everybody is saying that this is a real thing. And anybody that has been born after the 90s, they don't have this freckle. Now, I feel like some of you might still have it. I mean, I don't really know how true this is, but see this little freckle right here, right there? Apparently everybody has this freckle. So have a look at your arm. Let me know if you have this as well. It has to be in this area right here. And I have it. Wild.
If you were born between the years 1963 and 1993, I need you to look at your left forearm. And if you can't check your forearm right now, save this video for later. I know it's a little bit light, but do you either have a freckle or a mole on your forearm? And when I first heard about this, I was like, no way. But yep, there it is. Now, for some people, it might be on your right forearm. And for some of you, it'll be both. And if you want to go down this actual rabbit hole of why we all have the same mark, fair warning, that rabbit hole is deep. I was going to pass it off as coincidence, but start looking at the comments right about now, because 99% of you will have that mark on your arm. There's all sorts of theories about genetic testing, some sort of a secret vaccine, but if you were born between the years 1963 and 1993, when it's convenient some point today, make sure you save this video for later. Check your left forearm. And when you see it, share it with a couple of your friends too. Because if they're in this age bracket, I really would like to know what's going on.
Good web source, our friends who have been watching, ones that were born in the years that have been mentioned by this good vibes source. Can you tell us, is it true? Can you check your left arm if you can and confirm for us? Do you have this thing? Myself, I came way later after that. But I was checking to see if maybe something for all human beings and people before that year, that is just something for people before that year. Anyway, you tell us down below, good vibe source.